Everything looks precarious and bleak, and maybe even dark. It looks dark. Hamas, Hezbollah, Jew hatred all over the place, non-stop lies, slander. But I'll tell you how I know, guys, that we're going to win. I mean, we've already won, we just don't realize it yet. I don't know if you guys know the famous story of Rabbi Akiva and the fox. Again, it happened that Rabban Gamliel, Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah, Rabbi Joshua, Rabbi Yoshua, Rabbi Akiva went up to Jerusalem. When they reached Mount Scopus, Mount Scopus is next to the Temple Mount, they tore their garments. You could see the Temple Mount from Mount Scopus. When they reached the Temple Mount, they saw a fox emerging from the place of the Holy of Holies. The others started weeping. Rabbi Akiva laughed. So 3 of them started weeping. Rabbi Akiva laughed. And they said to him, "Why are you laughing?" And he said to them, "Why are you weeping?" They said to him, "A place so holy that it is said of it, the stranger that approaches it shall die, and now foxes traverse it, and we shouldn't weep?" And he said to them, "This is why I laugh, for it is written, I shall have bear witness for me faithful witnesses, Uriah the HaKohen, the priest, and Zechariah son of Jeberechia." Not sure how to pronounce that. Now what is the connection between Uriah and Zechariah? Uriah was in the time of the first temple. He lived in the time of the first temple. And Zechariah was in the time of the second temple. But the Torah makes Zechariah's prophecy dependent upon Uriah's prophecy. With Uriah it is written, "Therefore, because of you, Zion," folks, do you know what Zion is? It's Jerusalem. Anybody who calls you a Zionist, yeah, thank you for calling me a Jerusalemist, "shall be plowed as a field. Jerusalem shall become heaps, and the Temple Mount like the high places of a forest." With Zechariah it is written, "Old men and women shall yet sit in the streets of Jerusalem." He's talking about the third temple. As long as Uriah's prophecy has not been fulfilled, I fear that Zechariah's prophecy may not be fulfilled either. But now that Uriah's prophecy has been fulfilled, meaning they got the second temple, we got the second temple at some point, it is certain that Zechariah's prophecy will be fulfilled, the third temple. With these words they replied to him, the rabbis replied to him, "Akiva, you have consoled us. Akiva, you have consoled us." My friends, there are also prophecies that spoke about the Jews coming back to the land of Israel. This is Amos 9:14. "And I will restore my people from captivity. They will rebuild and inhabit the ruined cities. They will plant vineyards and drink their wine. They will make gardens and eat their fruit." My friends, there are 400 wineries in Israel. Most of them are kosher, some of them are not kosher. It doesn't really matter, actually. It really actually doesn't even matter. What matters is that the Jewish people have come back to Israel, they've come back to the cities, and they've planted vineyards. And not only have they planted vineyards in places where you can actually, where people understand that you could plant, you can, or when people think about those places, they say, okay, you could plant vineyards there, like, on mountains and hills, in valleys, regular soil, rocky soil, volcanic soil, like in the Golan, Judea and Samaria, which is probably the best place. The best grapes in Israel come from that area. Not to say there's not other places that amazing grapes are grown. My friends, Israelis, the Jewish people, have figured out how to make wine in the desert. And over the last few years, there have been a few wineries that have gotten amazing scores, very, very high scores from different international magazines and competitions. But this week, my friends, our friends at Ramat Negev winery in the desert. I mean, they figured out how to make soil there, if you want to call it that. They got the highest ever score ever given by, as far as I know, by Decanter magazine. Guys, you have to understand something. I mentioned that in the beginning of this video that we're living in a time of astounding anti-Semitism, astounding Jew hatred, or at least in the open. I mean, it's always been there under the surface. And here we have Decanter magazine. You know, in a time when Israel is being boycotted, Israeli products, especially wine. Wine has always been a target by the international Jew-hating community, especially wine of Judea and Samaria, but also just in general Israeli wine. Guys, I mean, I went to an event in Jersey 2 months ago where they had these kids standing outside just because there's wineries from Israel there. Free Palestine and all the rest of it. So, my friends, Decanter magazine gave Ramat Negev winery, a winery called Exodus. Not a cheap wine, but a good one. They gave it a 97 score. This is the highest score an Israeli wine has ever gotten, I think, from any magazine. Again, I could be wrong. Feel free to correct me, folks. The highest score it's ever gotten. I mean, I know already that we are fulfilling prophecies, at least this part of it. And we're doing it just at breakneck speeds, and we're doing it so well. Not just the fact that we have 400 wineries. It's one thing just to have wineries. It's quite another to have quality wineries. Such a small country. Folks, we're going to win. We're going to win only because, I'm not Rabbi Akiva, but I can tell you, when everybody else is lamenting and crying, the only thing I can do is laugh. And the only thing we should be doing is laughing, because we know that if these prophecies are fulfilled, and the previous ones are fulfilled, we know that other ones will be fulfilled. And we're not here this time around. We're not here to be kicked out or expelled or destroyed or massacred. We're here to stay. We're here to build and continue building and growing, and we're here to win, despite what some people even in our top military brass want. The top brass. We are going to win. We're here to win. Eventually. By hook or by crook. I only know that because we already fulfilled some of the things that were foretold. And if we already fulfilled those, then we will fulfill others. Just logic dictates that. So, my friends, instead of lamenting, like the 3 rabbis in the story, let's all be like Rabbi Akiva. Let's laugh and know that we will soon fulfill everything. Laila Tov and Shabbat Shalom.